guys, it's Shirley Becker and welcome back to my channel. If you're not subscribed already, make sure to hit the subscribe button. I supposedly make videos every week, but not really. 60% of the time on nonsense, 40% of the time on Cambridge. I've previously made a few videos on Cambridge. I've toured my college, I've done some general how to get into Cambridge videos. I've gone through some interview questions that I personally was asked myself. A lot of the people in the comments asked me questions and some of them I answered, some of them I have not yet. But what I've done is compiled some of the questions and turned this into a Cambridge Q&A video. Tamara DiMarco says, I heard that Cambridge students live in college in their first year, but then have to find a new place to live during other years. Is this true? But as I'd mentioned in one of my previous videos, Cambridge adopts a collegiate system which means that the university is split into colleges. These different colleges is where you'll be eating, sleeping and having most of your supervisions. But these colleges do vary slightly in the systems that they adopt and the number of students they can accommodate. So at most colleges, at least the colleges that I know, the college will provide you with accommodation throughout the entirety of your degree. Whether that accommodation will be in the actual main college building or some other property that the college still owns depends on the college and the size of the college. Most colleges that I know will provide you with accommodation for the entirety of your degree, but there are colleges that I've heard of, not in Cambridge but at Oxford, which expects their students to find accommodation after their first year. But it really varies from college to college. I'm not sure about every single Cambridge college, but you get some colleges where it's compulsory to stay at college-owned accommodation for the entirety of your degree, like Corpus Christi, Cambridge. You have some colleges which provide you with accommodation within your college for the first year, provide you with accommodation that is college-owned but away from the college building in your second year, and then move you back into college for your third year, like St. Catherine's, Cambridge. And some colleges which you have a choice of accommodation within the college property for your entire degree. So really it does depend going from college to college to college, but I can speak for Corpus Christi, Cambridge, where it is actually compulsory to stay within college-owned accommodation for the entirety of your degree. And there is a postgraduate college-owned site as well for PhD students and master students. And I say compulsory, but there can be circumstances under which you are actually allowed to find your accommodation if you desperately need to or want to. Mohammed Nordin says, what's the main difference between each other and why the priority changes? Okay, so this question was asked when I gave my college tour, I think. And so he's referring to what is the main differences between each college. I will explain it like this. So you apply to a particular college at Cambridge, or you put yourself into a random college generator, so to speak, and you'll be assigned one single college where you'll be interviewed. So at your college is where you kind of live, you know, you sleep at your college, you eat at your college hall, and you socialize mostly in your college bar or your college JCR. Going to different colleges and doing the same subject as someone else means that you'll all be attending the very same lecture. The main difference I would say between colleges academically is, one, the way that they administer their students is different. The entry requirements might even vary from college to college, and the process by which you are offered a place at the college might vary, such as some colleges have more interviews than others. Some colleges might make you sit administration tests, some colleges might not. So academically, that's mostly how colleges vary. Your college will also have fellows who are specialised in a particular subject. And so if your college has a chemistry fellow, then your supervision will be held at your college by a fellow of your college. So the college you go to can also change who you'll be having your supervisions with. So some people actually base their choice of college on an academic who they absolutely admire, who they know teaches at the college and who they want to be taught by. Furthermore, colleges vary also in the amount of money that they have. So some colleges have a lot more money than other colleges. For example, Trinity and St. John's are kind of the colleges that are, you know, balling. And then there are colleges like Corpus, which holds meetings on whether we can continue to invest in a newspaper to sit in the JCR. But with this disparity in wealth within colleges means that colleges will have events to different levels of prestigiousness, if that makes sense. For example, Mabel, which is the big final end of year party, Trinity and St. John's invest a lot more in their Mabel because they have a lot more to invest. So their Mabels tend to be much more prestigious than Corpus. Although we try, we might have cheaper drinks, for example. We might have less fancy food, for example. We don't have fireworks. We don't sit in punts. We don't have an audience sitting in punts in the river watching our fireworks because it's just not as prestigious as St. John's and Trinity. Also, further point on the money that a college owns, it also means that they have more to dispense to their students. So different colleges, I believe, have different amounts of bursaries available. So the college you go to can also change how much money you get for your given circumstance. So if your parents earn X amount per year and you go to Corpus, you might receive less than if your parents earn X amount per year and you go to John's. Just to summarize, the main differences between college are the entry route, people you'll be supervised by, amount of money that they have, and the amount of money that you can potentially receive. Also, of course, the hall, the accommodation, etc., etc., and all those fickle things. Daria Dinu asks, are you allowed to apply to multiple colleges or just one? At the University of Cambridge, you'll make an application to a single college. You can't apply to more than one college, a specific college of your choice, or if you feel like you really don't mind where you end up, you can also just put in an open application, in which case the college will be chosen for you. But in any case, it will still only be one college. However, applying to one college doesn't mean that you'll necessarily go to that college, because if you fail to gain a place at the college where you have applied to, you might be entered in a pool. And this is when the college believes that you have potential, you're just not most suited to that particular college that you have applied to. Once you enter the pool, other colleges are then able to take you out of the pool and offer you a place at their college where they feel you are suited to. So you can only apply to one college, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll end up at that college. But in some cases, you might be pulled and offered a place elsewhere or not offered a place at all. Mohammed Nordin says, does the educational system differ between colleges? So again, I touched on this a little bit about the differences, main differences between each college. So the only way in which academically college differ are the supervisions that you will hold, which will likely be by fellows who are associated with your college. Sometimes you'll be supervised by fellows from a completely different college, but the likelihood is that you'll be supervised in your college by supervisors available within the college. Other than that, you'll go to the same lectures, you'll go to the same labs, you'll sit the very same exams as everyone else. So in that respect, you'll have the same fundamental education. Just the 2-on-1 or 3-on-1 supervisions will differ depending on your college. Aggressive asks, what is your tuition fee in Cambridge in dollars or pounds? Thanks for answering. In the UK at the moment, there is a cap of £9,000 per year on university tuition fees. So, you know, not every university charges £9,000 per year. It differs between unis and what they feel they provide and what they might feel their course is worth, in a sense. At the University of Cambridge, top quality education, blah, 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 all the rest of it. So they do charge at the very top of the cap. So our tuition fees are £9,000 per year. In terms of international students, I have asked my friend Adrian a few questions for international students because he is an international student, but he is an EU international student. So I can't speak for people who are applying from Asia, from Africa, from Australia, from America, from continents other than Europe or countries that form part of the European Union. But for international students, EU students, the tuition fee is also £9,000. Shakira Lee asks, what grades do you have to be able to attend Cambridge? Okay, so the grades you have to have, first of all, starting with A-level, which is the qualification you'll get in the UK right before applying to university. So these are the exams you sit when you are 18 years old, so the summer before university. So with respect to A-levels, all the minimum entry requirements are specified on the university page. I don't know if they still differ from subject to subject. When I applied, the entry requirements for my course, which is natural sciences, was an A star and 2 A's. That's now increased to 2 A stars and an A. But it's all specified on the university website for A levels and for each particular course, and maybe even each particular college, if you know it differs between colleges. When it comes to GCSEs, however, which is a question I get asked often as well, it's like, I've got this many grades at GCSEs, am I eligible to apply for Cambridge? I would say GCSEs, obviously it's a bonus. If you got great GCSEs, awesome, great for you, good for you, well done. However, I wouldn't say it's the end of the road if you didn't get good GCSEs. GCSEs aren't the fundamental basis on which your offer is made at all by any means. You could have got GCSEs which don't reflect your true ability, and then improved at A level and still get an offer. You could have done amazing at GCSEs and got an offer, you know. I would say that if you're passionate about your subject, if you want to get top quality education, if you really feel like Cambridge is the place to you, your GCSEs should not be relevant to you if you've already done them. They shouldn't be something that stops you from applying. If you're going into GCSEs, obviously I'm not saying GCSEs don't matter, don't try hard, you're going to get into Cambridge anyway. Try your very best. All I'm saying is, if your very best isn't the very best, that shouldn't stop you from applying. LZ asks, "Full tour. That dinner looked special, but the shower situation, nah bruh." What's your study schedule? I ask because there are a bunch of sheets on your wall and you're in second year. Congrats. So what's your top study technique? Being a natural scientist and now in third year specializing in chemistry means that I spend a lot of time at the moment currently in the lab. This term we are doing organic and inorganic synthesis. The experiments take very long and I'm spending a lot of my time in the lab. My schedule mostly consists of being in the lab, going to my lectures, doing supervision homework and writing up lab reports. So I would say that my lectures generally are from 9 to 11 every day, and then from 11 till 6 I'm in the lab. I have been every day for this term so far, but that will vary because eventually I'll finish my experiments. And then from 6 till 7 I will be in the gym, and from 7 till 8 I'll be showering after the gym and eating dinner, and then from 8 till midnight or 1 I'll be writing up a lab report, finishing supervision homework, looking over lecture notes, things like that. And that's what the last few days have looked like, but that will have to vary as different things come in, obviously as I finish experiments, as I have supervision. She also asked, what is your top study technique? So I think study techniques really differ depending on what subject you're talking about. For me personally, if it's a very wordy subject, it really helps for me to make posters where I can just simplify the content, have them on my wall, look at them, go through an entire course in a very short period of time and kind of just repeat the words over and over and over and over again to the point where it just becomes memory and I don't really have to think about the content for a long time. When it comes to mathematical types of subjects, my best study technique is basically to go through all the content, make detailed notes, make kind of a protocol as to if it's this type of problem, this is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3, this is step 4, this is step 5, that's your answer. And then just try out loads and loads and loads and loads and loads of questions to apply them and see where I'm understanding and misunderstanding. And for kind of thinking, critical thinking types of subjects like organic chemistry is where you have to figure out mechanisms and figure out why a mechanism might not work, why this orientation might not be feasible, blah, 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 blah. I think doing questions and just seeing as many scenarios as possible is the best study technique. That way, if you're faced with something new, you can try and relate it back to a scenario you saw when you were practicing questions. But it really varies from subject to subject, but I'll be making an A-level revision and study technique video because I can speak for A-levels because I've done that, I've got the qualification, I know I was decent at that, so that's a video I'm planning to make. Maya says, for video suggestions, I can see you're quite outgoing fun person, but have you ever felt out of place at uni? Weird situations or embarrassing moments would make quite a funny video, lol. Okay, so I'm just gonna answer this in this video. So have I ever felt out of place or been in weird or embarrassing moments and situations? No. As soon as someone says, have you felt out of place at the University of Cambridge, my mind immediately jumps to the fact that the University of Cambridge is not a diverse university. You know, I might see someone like me, like once in a blue moon. But to add to that, I must say that I'm the type of person that doesn't really get fazed by my environment that much, because I feel like I'm consistently and always in my own bubble regardless of what's going on around me, to the point where I can often overlook the things that are very noticeable and very prevalent to other people's perspective. But have I been in any weird situations that have reminded me of the fact that under normal circumstances it would be easy for me to feel out of place? To get into my college, you need a key called an A20 key. It's just a key that has A20 written on it, and that opens any kind of main door within college. So the college gates, the college front doors, the front doors to other accommodations that college owns, and then you have your specific key for your room. So I was going into college through the back entrance to probably get to the library, and I was just wearing like a massive Adidas jumper and jeans and like Dr. Martin boots. And this old like 80-year-old white man was like going in through the back entrance too. And we both got to the gate at the same time, so we're both kind of fumbling with our keys. And I was fumbling with my keys, but he kind of just stood still. He just looked at me up and down and said, "Do you go to this college?" And I was thinking, like, the fact you're asking the question assumes that there is some doubt within you. I don't understand why you have doubts that I might not go to this college, especially after you had to look me up and down before judging whether or not I go to this college. You know, but I just said, "Oh yeah, I go to this college, I'm just going to the library." And he said, "Are you sure you're not coming to steal some books?" Because we basically have a library called the Parker Library, which has books that are very, very, very old and pretty much priceless. And I just laughed and I said, "No, I'm going to the library, you know, going to my college library." And he said, "Well, if you are coming to steal books, I'll let you know the Parker Library is just there." I didn't find the joke funny. I just wanted to get like through, oh my days. I just wanted to get through the gates, you know, and he made me use my key to prove to him that I went to this college. Mind you, I don't even know if he has any business being in the college, but out of me and him, I'm the one who has to prove to him, someone I don't know, someone I can't confirm goes to this college, someone I've never met before, that I belong to this college by using my key, which would be proof that, you know, I'm part of this college. So that was a weird situation, and I've always been curious as to why he looked me up and down and then had doubts that I went to this college, and also why he felt that based on his suspicion he could make me prove that I went to this college. Meanwhile, I don't even know if he belongs to my college. Aoya EI asks, what about students who want to study in Cambridge or Oxford or any British university but who aren't from the UK and are from a country where the educational system in middle school and high school is completely different? And please, if you know a video who talks about these for foreign students willing to study abroad. Okay, so again, I have asked my friend Adrian to help me out with questions for international students. If your education system differs from the UK education system, your grades will simply be converted and held up to the standard within your country. So if you know, take different exams and you get graded 1 to 10s instead of Fs to As, you know, the university will give you an entry requirement based on your educational system. So they won't say get an A star in AQA A level, because that doesn't exist in your country. They'll say get a 10 in this exam that you're sitting from this exam board that your country your school within your country has chosen to examine you by. So basically what I'm saying is there will be a simple conversion, and you'll be made an offer based on the educational system that your country adopts. So there's nothing to worry about that. Christina Stanley says, what course did you do? Pharmacology? I am a NATSCI, which is short for Natural Sciences. So at the University of Cambridge, if you want to study any kind of science at all, you will not be able to study a pure science. You have to study natural sciences. And a lot of people don't know what this course actually entails. Natural sciences is basically just a combination of different science courses. And in your first year, you'll be choosing 4 courses. In your second year, you'll be choosing 3 courses. And finally, in your third year, you'll be able to specialize in one single course. So having said that, the subjects that I chose in my first year was chemistry, evolution and behavior, material science, and compulsory maths. In my second year, I did physical and theoretical chemistry, organic and inorganic chemistry, and pharmacology. And now I'm in my third year. I've specialized in chemistry, which is the thing I would have specialized in from day one, and I've stuck to it. And this is my final year doing pure chemistry. That Beauty Girl asks, I noticed you went to 4 Sutton Trust summer schools, and I was wondering how you did that since you can't attend more than one. This is actually a great question, and I have answered this question to her personally already, but I didn't realize that people didn't know that you can apply to summer schools through many different platforms. So I thought it'd be useful to include this question in this video just so everyone knows that it's possible to go to more than one summer school that's listed by Sutton Trust, but just applying through things other than Sutton Trust as well. I went to the University of Nottingham Summer School, I went to Cambridge Easter School, I went to Oxford Summer School, and I went to a medical summer school at the University College London, so UCL. And the way I did this was, I didn't do them all in one year, and I didn't apply only through Sutton Trust. I applied to Oxford Summer School through a website called Unique, which is Oxford run by itself, which will be linked down below. I applied to the University of Nottingham Summer School through Sutton Trust, so I'll link that down below. It also has opportunities for you to apply to summer school in America, as well as many top UK universities. I went to UCL Medical Summer School in the summer of between year 10 and year 11, so that was way before applying to university. And I applied through Target Medical Summer School, which will be linked down below. And lastly, I went to Cambridge Easter School through a program called HEAPS, which your school should sort out. So if you aren't familiar with what HEAPS is, you should be asking your director of year to sign your school up for HEAPS. I'm not sure if they had grade specific requirements for HEAPS summer school, but either your parents should have not gone to university, or you come from a low income family. Yasmin A asks, the video about interview Q&As would be so helpful if you could make it. Was also wondering what you wore to your interview. Thanks, Shirley. Thank you for your question, Yasmin. In terms of what I wore to my interview, before I tell you what I wore, I actually want to say just in general, you should wear whatever you feel comfortable in. They always say as long as it's clean and it's not distracting, then wear whatever you're comfortable with. If that's jeans, that's jeans. If that's a dress, that's a dress. If that's a business suit, then wear a business suit. As long as you feel comfortable, it's appropriate. I just wore a simple black dress in kind of a, you know, that material that Boohoo makes everything out of. Like nothing nice, just like a black dress that was kind of midi length. And even so, even when I did wear a dress, I got into the interview room and both my interviewers were just wearing jeans and a t-shirt. So it's really not that crucial what you wear as long as you feel comfortable. But a black dress is what I wore. Long sleeved, midi length, like stretchy material, simple. Sage asks, honestly, I've lost hope because I'm guessing your GCSEs have to be quite good in order to get into Cambridge. I'm in year 12 and last year for my GCSEs I got 2 A stars, an A, 3 Bs and 6 Cs. Ouch. Do you think there's any chance of me getting in? I really want to go to Cambridge and study English literature, but I don't know, thank you. Oh my god. I do not know why you think your GCSEs were bad at all. You got 2 A stars and an A. And you're saying ouch, like There are people out here who are getting straight D's and all, celebrating with like wine, or I don't even know, I don't know. You did very well in your GCSEs, and I don't know what school you came to. I don't know what school you came to. What school you came to? Like, I should have gone to Anglia Ruskin. I don't know what school you went to, but especially if your school is not a school that often sees people getting A stars and A's, you've done exceptional for the standard of your school, which will be taken into account, like I always say. Other than that, your GCSEs are not going to be the critical thing on which you're judged at all. You've done well in your GCSEs, now keep ploughing on and do well in your A-levels, because that's what they'll be looking at, your A-levels. That's what your entry requirements are based on, your A-levels, you know, that's the important thing, your A-levels. You've done well in your GCSEs, just to reassure you. But as well, I want to say that you might hear of people who say, I've got 15 A stars, you know, at Cambridge. You might hear of people who've got, I don't know, 100 A stars, whatever. I got 7 A stars, 3 A's, and you might think that's amazing. And then I get here and everyone's like, that's kind of average, you know? So I can understand how you feel like you haven't done well enough. I just want to reassure you that you have done amazing, in my opinion. 2 A stars and an ace is rocking. But other than that, there are students here who didn't get 15 A stars, who didn't get 10 A stars, who might not have even got 7 A stars and 3 A's, you know. And there are students here who haven't got 2 A stars and an A, 3 B's and 6 C's, you know. All they've done is stepped it up 10 notches at A-levels and really worked hard and really continue to be passionate about their subject. There is a person I've watched on YouTube recently called Ibs Mo, who I'll link down below, who tells his story about getting grades and his school telling him he should do BTEC, his school telling him they're not allowing him a place at their college, and yet now 2017 he's at the University of Cambridge, going from not doing very well at GCSEs to being made to do BTEC, which he didn't do in the end, to coming here. Just goes to show that it's not full of people who got 15 A stars right off the bat and went to A-levels and smashed it, you know. People do step it up, work harder and get higher grades. But like I say, I think you've done amazing, and thank you for your question. Those were the end of the questions. I often get questions from international students asking me questions with respect to applying to Cambridge as an international student. And being a UK student, I don't know most of those answers, so what I did was ask my friend Adrian, who's an EU international student, to help me answer some of those questions. So I'm just going to go over just some few points that he mentioned that I think might be useful for international students also. So I asked Adrian what the application process is like for international students, and he said as an EU international student the application process is exactly the same as it is for a UK student. You apply through UCAS just like us, apply to 5 different unis just like us, and get called for interviews and made offers just like us. So you will be made to fly over or coach over, train over, whatever, to the UK to hold your interview, but the application process is just as it is for UK students, except that you're applying from a computer which isn't located in the UK. In terms of tuition fees, I also asked Adrian if the tuition fees differ for EU internationals and UK students, and it doesn't. So EU internationals pay the exact same tuition fees that I pay. However, I think the tuition fees rise significantly when it's not an EU international applying, but it's rather someone applying from outside of the European Union. I asked Adrian about funds available for international students, and he says there is a bursary available for students who are international students applying from within the EU, and he says it's kind of the same criteria as UK students, where it's based off of your parents' income, and there's a bursary available if your parents earn X amount, and then that bursary kind of goes down as the wage bracket your parents fall into increases. So by the sounds of it, it's pretty similar to how it is for UK students, where there are bursaries available, and it's very much dependent on your your parents' income. Okay guys, so that was the end of the Cambridge Q&A. My throat is so dry right now from talking for so long. I hope it was helpful. And if you guys want me to answer further questions on Cambridge, just leave comments down below. If I feel like there are enough of the questions, I might do another Cambridge Q&A. If there's something specific you want to know about Cambridge, let me know down below in the comments and I'll get to it. Other than that, hopefully I'll see you guys in my next Cambridge related video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Keep working hard and I'll see you guys very soon.